Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hey guys, welcome on in. Welcome into tonight's live. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you guys are having a great day, a great weekend. I did forget to pin the message in the chat, so I'm just going to try to pin it if I can see it. There it is. Okay. That way when people come in, they'll know. Hi, hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name's Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. It's good to meet you. Nice to meet you. Welcome back to the great ones that come back and they join me every evening. Shout out to you guys. So we're going to talk about Ruby Franke tonight. Different case, different case. It's been a little while since we talked about her. Ladybug, you've been a member for 14 months. Oh, wow. That's a long time. That's a long time. Thank you for being a member for so long. I appreciate that. 14 months. I'm going to have to get some new. I keep saying that. I need to get some new badges. Let me write me a note because I can make them. I usually give that job to Vincent, but I think I know how to do it. We'll put it down for the week's work that we've got to get done. But hello, everybody. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Just Breathe. Hey, Ashley. I saw you up there. Hey, Chai. Hey, Lori. It's good to see you guys. In and out as usual. That's how I am in chats. I'm like, I'll pop in, I'll say something, and everyone in the chat's probably like, where'd she come from? And then I'll like pop out and then I leave again. Hey, Karina. Hey, Phantom. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Mary Beth. How you doing? How's the move? Oh, I know, Karina, this story is very, very sad. These kids, I feel like are going to, thankfully, I think they're going to rebound. They'll be okay. They're going to have scars forever, but I think that I think they have a good, like they have good brothers and sisters at least, you know? Hey, True Crime Lullabies, if you hear us. if you can hear us. Hey, Rondaroo. Oh, it's like every case is just, it's all Sebastian out there right now and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to stay clear of it. As much as I mean, I would talk about it, but I don't know. I just don't really care to. It's kind of exhausting. Hey, KCG. Especially if you watch it for a little bit, you know? You're about to put up your milestone. How long have you been a member, Ashley? You've been a member for a long time. Mine does that too, Ashley. Mine does that. I'm only a member in one chat, but mine will do that like when I'm over. I didn't know how to do it at first, but I'm a member of Granny's Watching, and whenever I go to use my my milestone, it says that I've only been a member there like 10 months. And I'm like, I know I've been over here at least over a year because it was a year in Christmas time. So I don't know. 2 years? Wow. Hey, late girl, 2 years. You're an OG. So burnout on SR, yeah. I know, me too. And I've been kind of like listening in, but not like a whole lot. But I was listening in to Jay earlier, and then I just walked into the bedroom a minute ago because I had it on the iPad, and I was like, "She's still going?" I was like, "Man, she stamina for days, that woman." And hey, Naomi, I don't know if I said hey to you. I highlighted your post. I don't know if I said hello, but welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys today. Not like it's not good to see you guys every day. Before we get started, we did finish everything. I believe everything in the studio is done. I told Vincent it was anyway. There's a wall right here that I might put a picture up, but other than that, he got it all done. He got it all done. He hung up everything. He hung up the stuff I was showing you in that live. So I will take pictures of it tomorrow whenever I get everything back to order, and I'll post them on the community wall, and then maybe I'll even do a live or something, but I'll make sure you guys get to see the whole room because it's really, really nice. And it took a lot of work. We've just finished the closet today because I had to redo everything in there. So, but yeah, so thanks for sticking with us when we were doing, remodel, and it was kind of a boring background there, but it's all bright and pretty now. And we got flowers blooming and everything. It's going to be spring over here. You're in your new apartment, but nothing's put up yet. But it's the best feeling to have just to be in a new apartment. Like the new apartment smell. Like they clean it real good. And yeah, I like new apartments. We've lived here for 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time that we've lived here, but we like it. It's just, it fits us. It's in this little pocket and it's like hidden, and I love that. So, hey, Connie, welcome in. Yeah, I don't have any more mental space for it either. So no problem. Hey, PB&J. It has been a while. That's what I was just thinking. Well, welcome on in. Oh, I hope you get it, Ashley. You'll be in my prayers. You need it. You definitely do. You need some peace and quiet in your own little spot. I can imagine. I had a house fire once. We lost everything, but for the most part, we lost everything. There was a couple like knickknacks my mom could keep. I cleaned them up, but I couldn't imagine what you guys are going through down there. And then the people that are in South Carolina right now, Myrtle Beach, what's going on? They're having horrible wildfires. I think they said 2,400 acres were already burnt. So prayers for them too. And I think I want to say Southern-ish, but I'm not completely sure. Someone we know that's in our chat pretty often is from Myrtle Beach. And I can't think of who it is. I know, Ashley, you're by Myrtle Beach, aren't you? Or you used to be. But it's too much. It's like seeing fires there. I don't know. It's just different. It's just, I'm like, it's just, yeah, just. I know God won't give you any more than he thinks you can handle, Ashley. That's what they say. I used to say, well, he must think I'm strong as hell then. Because, when it happened, when you're going through something, it seems like everything is, going wrong with it. But we'll get into tonight's business. We're going to talk about Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. We haven't talked about these ladies in a little while. Like I said, I'm just going to go through their case summary. I think most of you guys know who they are, but we'll read through the case summary, and then there's some new updates. They have a new docuseries that has come out. So we will talk about that, but it's called The Rise, or no, it's not The Rise and Fall of Ruby Franke. I'll have to think of what it's called now. I can't even think of the name of it. But they do have a new docuseries out. It's on Hulu. And so what we'll do is we'll go through their background real quick, give you a little brief summary of who they are, what they did, and then we'll get into the juicy stuff, because it's called The Devil in the Family, and it's pretty interesting. I want to watch it. I want to watch all of there's 3 episodes. I want to see them all. I don't know if I'll be able to stream those, but if I can't, what I can do is like maybe take clips, like do little clips or something, or I will just review it for you guys, and we'll just do it like that. But I'll make it to where it's interesting. Also, if you guys are interested in covering this case again, because we did cover it from the beginning, like, when it became a crime, that's when we started covering it. But we can go back and cover it, like the whole story in its whole entirety. If that's something that you guys are into, I'll put a community post up, and then you guys can vote on that. If you guys want to do that, we can go through their jail calls, their videos, all the stuff. So everything related to the case. So Ruby Franke was once best known for her popular YouTube channel, on which she documented family life with her husband and 6 children. On December 18th, 2023, however, she pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated CA. On December 27th, 2023, Jodi Hildebrandt, a licensed therapist who ran an online self-improvement program with Miss Franke, also pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. 4 months earlier, the women were arrested after Miss Franke's 12-year-old son climbed out of the window of Miss Hildebrandt's Ivins, Utah residence, ran to a neighbor's home, and asked for help. And that house is still on the market as far as I could see. It's up for $5.6 million. It's gorgeous inside. It's a beautiful home. To them, it wasn't a home, it was a prison, but it was a beautiful home. The neighbor observed duct tape on the boy's ankles and wrists, severe wounds, and malnourishment. He quickly contacted law enforcement, who, upon arrival, learned that potentially more children remained inside Miss Hildebrandt's home and in harm's way. The officers responded to Miss Hildebrandt's home, placed her under arrest, and conducted a search of her seizable property, where they found Miss Franke's 9-year-old daughter petrified and hiding in a closet. It took them a long time to get her out of that closet, too. The ensuing investigation revealed that Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt held Franke's 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter in a work camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were also prohibited from interacting with others and were hidden in the home when others came to visit. They were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and sitting against a wall without a chair or stool for hours at a time. The children were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat without shoes or socks. They were similarly forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was bound hand and foot after a previous attempt at running away. Additionally, the children suffered emotional abuse to the extent that they came to believe that they deserved the abuse. That's sad, isn't it? Oh, 15 months, DM. Look at that. That's amazing. Well, it's coming out that, yeah, they did. Yeah, Ruby and Jodi, they sure did. I guess Ruby's daughter is going to tell us that tonight. She kind of witnessed some things that, I feel bad that she witnessed. I feel bad that she witnessed. Hey, princess. It's just, Kevin, okay. So I watched something today. Try it. Like I was really hard. I'm still going to be kind of hard on him. I was really hard on Kevin, but listening to his people interview, and he had time to think of whatever he could have thought of, but it kind of like, I don't know what he says. It makes sense that like, Jodi was running the show and doing all the things, but he still, I don't know. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. So it says, the investigation found that a religious extremism motivated Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt to inflict this horrific abuse. The women appeared to fully believe that what they were inflicting was necessary to teach the children how to properly repent for imagined sins and to cast the evil spirits out of their bodies. On February 20th, 2024, Judge John J. Walton of Utah's 5th Judicial District Court, and we watched this live, or right afterwards, I don't know if it was live or not, but we watched it right when it happened, sentenced Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt to serve 4 to 30 years in the Utah State Prison, the maximum sentence for this type of offense. Because of Utah's intermediate sentencing laws, the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole now oversees the length of their prison sentence. So they can let them out anywhere between 4 and, 60 years or 4 and 40 years? 4 and 30 years. That's not a long time at all. Man, Princess, look at that. 23 months. Wow, look at that. Man, you guys are showing up tonight. Look at all that you guys been here forever. And I love that. Thank you. That makes me feel so good. That any creator will tell you that makes you feel good. When you've got people like that stick with you that long. Hey, Ludwig, that's super awesome. Even if you're not a member, I still know, it just shows me, like, when you're a member, it shows me that, like, it's like 23 months. And then it's like, wait a minute, has it really been? And it has, because it's like, I've been on the platform that long. It doesn't feel like it, though. Wow. I know. And we were taking stuff down today and took down my little 10,000. When I got hit 10,000 subscribers, the little star thing, I put it like in a container today to keep it. Because I was like, I got to keep that. And then I think that was all of it. Yeah. So it's up to them, how long they're going to sit there in prison. But this is Ruby, if you don't know, on the left, and then Jodi on the right there. Now Rolling Stones did a really good article about what they kind of took from the docuseries. And they did like a deep dive on it, and they did a story. So we'll go through this, and it'll cover kind of what they did. Then we're going to watch a couple videos that are pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff's coming out. I don't know if the house was paid for, if Jodi's house was. I don't know. I don't actually. I don't really know. But I know that they were selling it, but I don't know if they were selling it into her, like under her name. That's a good question. Hey, Aries. Hey, Cyber Warrior. Hey, Tony. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, so it says here that it's been more than a year since mommy vlogger Ruby Franke and her business partner Jodi Hildebrandt pled guilty. Now a docuseries has taken viewers on an up-close look on how the YouTube star went from America's mom to a convicted felon. And she wasn't America's mom, because people have been calling this out for years. Nobody was listening. They had a change.org petition to get her off of YouTube, had like 18,000 signatures to try to get CPS involved, and nobody got involved. 18,000 signatures. That's a lot of signatures. That's a lot. So I didn't even know about her really until I knew a little bit about her before she did what she did, but that's only because I watched this other person that reviews her. He reviews like channels like that. So, but it says that Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke, it charts the career and downfall of Franke, beginning with her first ever YouTube videos. Franke, the creator of the now defunct 8 Passengers YouTube channel, was known online for vlogs about her Mormon faith and parenting style for her 6 children. But in August 2023, Franke's then 12-year-old son escaped Hildebrandt's house with injuries and ran to a neighbor's to ask them for help. Franke and Hildebrandt were arrested, and A quick police investigation uncovered months of child A by the two women. Kept afloat and encouraged by Hildebrandt's spiritual teachings. Where'd she get her degree from? The docuseries features never-before-seen clips from Franke's YouTube video and testimony from her soon-to-be ex-husband, Kevin, son, Chad, and daughter, Sherry. So here's what they kind of learned through the docuseries. Filming the vlogs quickly became a point of contention. I mean, can you imagine that? You got 6 kids, you're trying to get them to, do as you say as you do. Ruby's YouTube career grew quickly after she began posting unfiltered vlogs about caring for her family and the pressures of mom life. Let me know if any of you guys ever watched her, like before she went, before we knew she was, we kind of knew she was abusing her kids, but before all this stuff came out. It says thousands of subscribers joined each month, some commenting with special requests to see particular kids more. That's weird. Ooh, that's so weird. That's weird. You guys are creepy. Don't be doing that. That's weird. Like, to me, that's weird. But then again, I wouldn't have a family channel. At the height of their YouTube fame, the Franke family could take in anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in extra income each month, which incentivized Ruby to keep posting. But as the children grew older, filming became a sore spot in the house. Well, yeah, they're wanting their privacy. The docuseries shows several clips of the children being admonished for not wanting to perform for the camera. We were completely lost in the fun of it, Kevin says in the docuseries. But we did see changes in the kids accumulating. The kids can be seen in the documentary shying away from the camera or getting stern warnings from Ruby when they don't smile or miss a line they prepared. It's supposed to be a vlogging channel. You're not supposed to be preparing lines. It's supposed to be, reality. But is it really ever reality? They show us what they want us to see, Our entire schedule revolved around YouTube, Sherry adds in the series. Can you imagine being a kid? I couldn't imagine. I loved my childhood. I had the best. It was like right before the internet took hold. But can you imagine though, like your parent, like you're getting sick. Say you don't feel good. You're like ill and you're little, like you're a kid and you want your mommy. That's normally what you want, or your dad, but you normally want your mommy. You're sick. Things happen and you get sick. Imagine your mom shoving a camera in your face instead of like helping you. I don't know. It says, Sherry says, and I think that's where I started to have issues because their whole life revolved around YouTube. Jodi believed she was under a spiritual attack. She did. While many of the Franke children begin to resent their fame on YouTube, both they and the neighbors agree that their lives really changed when Ruby began working with Hildebrandt. The therapist first came into their lives after Chad was expelled from school, but Ruby began working closer and closer with Hildebrandt's counseling business connections, including making Kevin join a weekly men's group. Ruby also hosted sessions and videos with Jodi. Weekly men's group. Wonder what they talked about there. Once Ruby and Kevin received a call from Hildebrandt, who sounded completely distraught. When they came to her house, Kevin tells documentary producers that strange things were happening, including loud noises coming from empty rooms and strange handprint-like smudges on the glass windows. Hildebrandt believed she was under spiritual attack and moved into Franke's home for support. Do you think she had multiple personality disorder or something, maybe? In addition to running her counseling business from Sherry's room, where she went to escape the spirits, Hildebrandt also began falling into possessed trances, according to Kevin, where she would hit herself, thrash, and start speaking in deep, strange voices. And you invited her in to your house. You said, come on and live with me. You're hearing stuff at your house. There's handprints on the windows. Sure, come and live with us. I think I would say, let's take you to the mental health hospital, honey. Let's do that. That's what I'd say. Ruby believed that it was meant to be and that me and her were meant to help Jodi overcome this. That's because Ruby had an eye for Jodi. After then, 17-year-old Chad confessed to Jodi and Ruby that he watched pornography and kissed girls behind their backs. Oh, hell no. Hildebrandt and Ruby blamed him for the spiritual welfare and kicked him out of the house. I have never seen my mom more distraught, Chad said. I have never seen her so red in the face, but it wasn't anger. It was a sadness. She was bawling. She couldn't breathe. And then Sherry was attending college at Brigham Young University when Hildebrandt and Ruby's relationship grew closer. So Sherry was out of the house. Hildebrandt, Jodi's living in her bedroom. When she came home to visit for Christmas, she said in the docuseries that the energy in the entire house was off. Ruby had also begun to sleep next to Hildebrandt every night in Sherry's room. And when Sherry went inside to grab some items, she noticed massage oil and candles everywhere. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have any girlfriends give me no massages with massage oils and such. It was so tangible that something was off and I couldn't describe it, she says, but it was like a physical heaviness. It felt really dark. At that moment, I kind of figured something was going on. Kevin is frank in the documentary that he's not sure of Jodi and Ruby, if Jodi and Ruby were lovers, but he does note that their relationship grew stronger and stronger. It began to make people, including himself, uncomfortable. I don't know the extent to which their interactions went, Kevin says. It was much more than a friendship, much more than a sisterhood. It was uncomfortably intimate. Neither Hildebrandt nor Ruby have ever responded to these claims. In August 2023, Franke's then 12-year-old son escaped out of Hildebrandt's home and rang the doorbell of several houses. One of neighbor answered. He asked if he could call or take him to the nearest police station. The neighbors quickly called 911 and tearfully told dispatchers that the boy had visible wounds, duct tape on his extremities, and seemed malnourished. Authorities also found Ruby's emancipated 10-year-old daughter in the house, and the two women were arrested and held without bail. When police searched Hildebrandt's house a third time for more evidence, they found a blue folder in Ruby's bedroom that appeared to be a diary. In it was a full account on how she and Hildebrandt believed her youngest two children were possessed by evil demons. In her December 2023 plea deal, Ruby admitted that the journal was accurate and she'd kicked her son, forced him to do consistent labor, often bound his wrists and ankles, held his head underwater, and cut off his oxygen supply. The bindings damaged his skin and muscles, which were treated first with homeopathic remedies, which was cayenne pepper and honey, and then covered in duct tape before he was once again locked back into handcuffs. So he would have these wounds on him, on his wrist, or, legs, extremities, and they would put cayenne pepper, honey in there, and then wrap it with duct tape because that's just like a Band-Aid, It is. And then they would put the handcuff back over it. Imagine the pain. I can't believe these people are only sentenced to what they're sentenced to. Her daughter was also subjected to similar physical punishments, including running barefoot outside and working on hot days. Both the children were told that they were evil and possessed. Their punishments were necessary acts of love, and they needed to receive the treatment to repent. Ruby's diary also included a line that read, I told him, give your demon friend a message for me. I will not rest. I will not stop. I will not leave. I will fight him until the day you die. Detective Jessica Bate from the Santa Clara Evans Police Department, who gives an interview about the investigation in the docuseries, says Ruby's son escaping was incredibly brave and the abuse would have continued. There's absolutely no doubt that that young boy did that day saved his sister's life, she says. And absolutely. I believe that. I was looking up other POSs that torture their children. And Katrina Barr popped up, and I think she still doesn't have a court date. Yeah. Trial date remains unset. So, because I was going to do like an update video today on like multiple cases, but then I was like going through the cases and I'm like, they're all kind of set. Like Nari Shabbat's set for September trial. I don't know what, we'll hear some stuff before then, I'm sure, but we haven't heard anything yet. So I saw this in the U.S. Sun, and it shows pictures of Jodi being possessed by these demons that she talks about. So we'll play this video here, and then we'll go through the pictures.
After Jodi came into the picture, weird things started happening in our house.
Like, look at her. I think she's doing it for attention.
Jodi would go into these possessed trances. And she would start speaking in other voices.
She's mine. She's mine.
As a licensed therapist, right? I don't know. Wouldn't you know this is about the time you would check yourself in to, like, you know, the mental hospital? If you're a licensed therapist, you would have to know. I mean, I don't know. You have to know, right? It's all fake. I think it's all fake. I call out the bullcrap. I think you're faking Jodi. And she's mine. I think she was talking to old Kev and telling old Kevin, Ruby's mine. She's mine. I got her. She's mine. Oh, I didn't mean to go back that far. I have to go right here. So yeah, then there's pictures of her. Look at her picture. Oh my gosh. Look. Footage of Jodi Hildebrandt suffering from satanic possessed trances while living with Ruby Franke has been revealed. I own her. Who do you own? Who do you own, Jodi? Huh? She's mine. Like, and what is she wearing? A hoodie dress or something? I don't know. Final clip show with Jodi with her hands in her head in her hands, whispering, "She's mine." Like who? Who's she? You know, this is all the same redundant stuff that we've been reading, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Maybe this is what I was going to show you.
There was one time that I did go into my room to get something, and there were like candles on the desk and massage oils, and it felt really dark. So at that moment, I kind of figured something was going on.
Were they lovers?
I mean, I have my opinions, but...
What's your opinion?
I do think that they were.
I don't know the extent.
I mean, she knows her mama.
To which their interactions went. It was much more than a friendship.
Yes.
What was that? You want to get thrown off?
Yes.
I'll probably get thrown off with them. So you guys.
Much more than a sisterhood. It was uncomfortably intimate.
Uncomfortably intimate. I'm going to go back to that thing again. But yeah, very... Kevin, why didn't you say something there, bud? That's your wife. That's your wife. Like, I mean, you know, like, hey, Kiwi mate. What happened? Yeah, he doesn't have he has no backbone or balls. Yeah, I don't think she really appreciated Kevin being there. I think she was trying to push him out. Well, just like with, you know, I mean, the other guy that she was trying to counsel his marriage too. It's just crazy. I don't know if you guys have read, but Ruby's daughter did release a book, and it's called In the House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom. I haven't read it, but I wonder if I bet it's good. So she's facing up to 30 years behind bars. Let's see. I didn't know about poking her children with cactus needles. I didn't remember hearing about that, but I guess that's what she was doing too. Oh my gosh. The two women who preached truth while living lies, who condemned queerness very publicly in their videos while embodying it privately. In my room, on my bed, most likely. And that's what Sherry said. Isn't it something else when that happens? It's like, just live your life. Okay, so I think that was all that I had, maybe. That was when they were arresting her. Yeah, that's all that I had from that. And then I was going to share this with you because her youngest daughter, Eve, is now speaking out. And she's the 10-year-old. I don't know how she is now. Like maybe I think she's 12 now. But she was the one that was in the room, the dark room, and the cops had to sit in there for like hours, like at the door to kind of get her, like coax her into believing that they were there to help. And like that little girl went through a lot. Now, I think that she is going to need maybe a little more help than her brother. I mean, her brother, good thing for him, to climb out that window and just to keep running. Like even whenever he wanted to stop running, he probably just kept running. Like I would be so scared. Yep, the pot calling the kettle black. Mm-hmm. I hope she gets the full 30 years. They better both get the full 30 years. I think they both need it. Yeah, probably was leaving him alone. But it says here that her 11-year-old daughter, she's 11, so is speaking out about the trauma she faced tied to her mother's vlogging. During a House Business, Labor, and Commerce Committee hearing in Utah on February 18th, the preteen's father, Kevin Franke, read a statement on her behalf in which she spoke about the negative experiences she had being filmed for her mother's family vlog before Ruby was later convicted of aggravated child A and sentenced to 4 to 60 years in prison. I guess it's 4 to 60. I hope she gets 60. Stating that she initially thought nothing was wrong with taking part in her family's YouTube videos and how she thought she was happy. The child, whose identity has not been shared, explained that she really wasn't, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. Everyone knows who they are. They had over 2 million followers. But it's sad. When I started getting older, I realized the YouTube channel had ruined my childhood, she continued, but at least I get some money, right? All right, I actually didn't because my mom withdrew all of it in 2023. Who'd you give it to? Your lawyer? Where the hell's all that money? Added the child, I worked hard for that money. I acted like someone I wasn't in front of the camera and I earned that money. But I feel like my mom used me for money. Yeah, she did. She definitely used you guys for money. Ruby's daughter then explained that she hoped Utah lawmakers would consider passing a bill that would require online creators who make more than $150,000 a year from content featuring children to set aside a portion of it into a trust fund for their little ones. 150,000, they should be doing that if they're making over 100,000, in my opinion. I know some states do. I think Illinois is one. Noting that she understands more than anyone the horrible situation that a lot of kids are in right now. I know I am stuck with the trauma of YouTube. And YouTube can be traumatic. Even now, I can barely make friends because my whole life I was the center of attention, she added. But now, without even realizing it, I seek attention from others or I feel like they don't like me. Then those people think I'm mean. She probably doesn't know how to act in front of people either, because if your whole time is spent behind a camera and someone's telling you what to say and how to say it, like an adult, and you're a child, you're not going to be yourself. You're going to be like, oh, it's so sad. And that's so sad that she thought, like, people, the kids thought she was being mean. So the children's 16-year-old sister echoed similar sentiments in her own statement that was also read during the hearing, in which she had hopes the potential new bill would prevent other kids from having to go through the pain of realizing that the compensation for years worth of time and effort is suddenly gone. Where the hell's the money? Where's the money? Does anyone know where the money's at? They had millions in the bank. They had a lot of money in the bank. Like, a lot. Like, they weren't spenders. Like, they weren't, they were, but they weren't. You know what I mean? Like, and Kevin still had his job professing, being the professor at the college. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, this was kind of like extra money for them in a way. Because I feel like with his salary alone, they could have survived. But it says, as kids, you don't realize what you're subjected to, really, the teen said. You're selling your life, your privacy, your body, and stories to the entire world. And as a child, you're involuntarily giving up all of that. You're selling your childhood. I believe that. Though there is no amount of money that can make up for that loss, the least that can be done now is making sure the child is getting paid for her work and has the right to remove it and walk away if she wants to, she added. That's true. They should have that opportunity if they want to take it down. Later during the hearing, Kevin admitted his own feelings of regret for taking part in the family vlogging by filming his children and sharing the videos on social media. He said, per the Tribune, vlogging my family, putting my children into public social media was wrong, and I regret it every day. Ruby and Kevin began documenting their life as a parent to 6 children in 2015, uploading vlogs on their now deleted 8 Passengers YouTube channel, which portrayed their strict parenting style that later raised eyebrows from skeptics in 2020, ultimately leading into an investigation. In 2022, Ruby ceased posting on 8 Passengers and joined her ex-business partner and therapist, and we'll call her lover, Jodi Hildebrandt, on her Connections podcast. Both Ruby and Hildebrandt were later convicted for crimes. Kevin, meanwhile, was not arrested or charged. And, guess he wasn't there to be charged, but I want to know, we're going to watch a video and he explains a lot, right? He explains a lot in this video about like Jodi and Jodi being like this bad Jodi, bad person. But he was like, why didn't he stick up and say something? Like, you were there when you were taking Christmas away from your kids. That, I guess that's not technically abuse, but when you have 6 children and 2 of them aren't getting Christmas and they're the youngest 2, I think that is. He was there when the school lunches weren't being packed, right? Like she was forgetting her school lunch and nobody was taking her food. It's not like he didn't have any insight in what was going on. If he didn't know, all he had to do was flip on the damn YouTube channel and say, okay, what's my family doing today? And flip it on. If they were like doing stuff behind the scenes, like, I don't know. But it says in January, she told People she witnessed the damage of what happens when your life is put online and believes that there's no ethical way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, wow. So there's a couple videos where Kevin and Chad have come out and they're talking. They're talking, I guess, probably to promote the docuseries, as well as, just to get, I guess, probably just promoting the docuseries, I'm assuming. I was thinking, it took me a while. I was like being slow because I was trying to think of a way to say this, but like, this is probably their last time that they're going to get paid for maybe like something to do with like TV. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he's going to have to go back to be living on just his salary, being a professor. His kids are grown, most of them. So that's good. But like, he's not, I think that this is like their last bit of stuff, and they're just going to put it out. And then they're probably just going to, try to live their life. Hopefully that's what it is anyway, hopefully. But they did go on Good Morning America. And then they went on, they did an interview with People. So we'll review those. And thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. What happened to the whole thing with Sherry and her dad and the computers? Remember, like, she had the computer, like the laptop and the iPad or something, and he was going to press charges on her. But, like, are they cool now? Like, because I don't see her with, like, Kevin. I just see Chad and Kevin together. So I'm curious about that. Because if you told me I was trying to steal something when I wasn't going to try to steal something, I would be so upset. But we'll see what they have to say here.
Now to an ABC News exclusive interview with the estranged husband of Ruby Franke, the momfluencer who pleaded guilty to child abuse charges. Kevin Franke and his oldest son sat down with Jodi Hildebrandt.
Oh, look, I used that picture today.
Good morning, George. Kevin and Chad Franke tell me they haven't had any contact with Ruby, but they are still dealing with the aftermath of what she did to their family. The two telling me they wanted to share their story to set the record straight.
Sit down right here.
Go sit on the couch. Oh.
Sit her down on the flipping couch.
This morning, new home video of former mommy influencer and now convicted child abuser Ruby Franke.
I'm still recording.
The Utah mom of 6 was known for her tough parenting, carefully crafting her image to millions of subscribers on her 8 Passengers YouTube channel.
Some days parenting requires uncomfortable conversations.
But
some days parenting requires a lot of patience. And I think that's what you lacked. And morals.
Disturbing reality was revealed after Ruby's youngest son escaped in August of 2023. This chilling 911 call leading to her arrest.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door.
You can see how small his little legs are. Look at his little legs. You can barely see him. They're like 2 little toothpicks holding up his body. The little boy was so malnourished. We've seen pictures too. We do have pictures of when they had him in the ambulance. It's sad.
Asking for help. He's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs.
My wife, Ruby's sole ambition was to be seen as the perfect mom.
Franke's estranged husband Kevin and oldest son Chad now opening up in a new Hulu docuseries, Devil in the Family: The Fall of Ruby Franke.
She just wanted to show the view of a Mormon happy family, but they only saw what we wanted to show them.
Both sitting down exclusively for the first time since Ruby's arrest.
It was so outlandish to me that it had to have been fabricated.
Before their YouTube fame, Kevin and Chad say the Frankes lived a normal life.
I had very fond memories as a young child.
Did you think your mom was a good mom?
I would say so, yeah.
We just felt very much like an average family.
At what point did it all change?
I think once companies started coming to us offering big money for scripts.
Be excited to tell them where your name came from, even if you have to fake it. Fake being happy. Okay? I don't know if I can right now.
It was a chaotic experience. So lots of yelling, lots of snapping, and lots of timeouts in the corner.
Everything that Chad and Kevin remembered about this crazy story was meticulously documented. It was like
they have it all on camera. She got it all. Why didn't she delete the tapes? I don't know.
Having camera crews inside the house over a decade.
Kevin and Chad say the
oh, that's because they had camera crews. See, you should have been doing your own camera work.
Family dynamic really shifted after Ruby hired this woman.
I'm Jodi Hildebrandt.
Therapist and life coach Jodi Hildebrandt to work with their family.
She came across as somebody who was firm and very authoritative. So we thought, oh, this is a perfect fit. What became surprising to me was when the focus gradually shifted away from just solely on our children to us as a couple.
Do you feel like she brainwashed you?
She took control of something that was very, very important to me. My marriage, my family, and she used those like a carrot on a stick.
Looking back, I treated her as a god, and I trusted her so much.
Kevin says Jodi and Ruby insisted he move out and cut off contact with his family to work on his addiction to selfishness.
How could you have left your family?
The bottom line is that I was choosing to trust a licensed professional mental health counselor.
I'm sorry. But if someone came up to me and did this stuff that she's pulling, I would be like, I need a second opinion. Is there another one of you around here that's like licensed in the same bullshittery that you're licensed in? Because you're telling me to leave my house because I'm selfish. So I won't be selfish anymore if I leave my home. Like it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me.
And my wife. And they gave some terrible counsel. And I have regrets, and I wish that I hadn't done those things.
Do you still love her?
I do. I don't think I'll ever stop loving her. Does that mean that I want to let her back into my life, let her back into my kids' lives? Absolutely not.
Guilty. Both Ruby and Jodi pleaded guilty to 4 counts of child abuse against Ruby's 2 youngest children and could serve up to 30 years in prison. Kevin recently speaking at a Utah State House hearing advocating for child protections around family vlogging, reading a letter from his 11-year-old daughter.
I feel like my mom used me for money.
What do you want people to know?
There is real danger when you place yourself or your family, your children out onto public social media, to be just careful with who they choose to put their faith in, to put their trust in, because it can have massive consequences in your life.
What does happiness look like for you guys?
Enjoying time with my siblings, it feels a lot more free.
It's wonderful to be surrounded by my children. There's laughter again. We have a lot of new furry friends.
Our home is a zoo.
It is a zoo, and it's funny because like they chew up all the floorboards and everything. And I'm just thinking, if Ruby was here, she'd be furious. But Ruby's not, and I don't care, and I'm happy.
Now we reached.
Oh, well, that's good. You know, maybe this will be like this is going to be some sort of, testimony for these people for their life. That's what maybe they're meant to be doing, is helping out other, young kids that are, have parents that want to put them in videos and do things like that. Cause I know right now a lot of like family vlogging is like really popular. And I know that, they're doing a lot of the like van life type of deal, but it's like buses, but they're shoving all their kids in these buses to live. And I mean, yeah, they look like really nice buses, right? But what kid wants to grow up in a cubby hole, right? Like you see them and they're like in these little cubbies, that's where they sleep. And it's like, we're living in America. Okay. We like a bedroom over here. We like a whole bedroom, the whole thing, not just the bed, the room around it also. But I think that with that, it's going to make it to where, these family vloggers, they do have to pay their children out. And I think they should. I definitely think they should, if they're using their children for content. And it's gross to me, in my opinion. If you're a certain age, maybe 18 and over, I don't know. If it was my kid, I would be like, no, you're not getting on the internet. You're not on the internet. I wouldn't let my kid have a YouTube channel. That's just me. That's just unpopular opinion. Maybe I'd be the worst mom ever, but I would sleep at night. And you can watch little Taylor Swift like Sebastian used to, but you're not getting the internet. But the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was what do Ruby's parents think of her and her actions? And did you guys know, I knew that Ruby's sisters were vloggers, but did you know that the parents are vloggers too? They have a channel. They have a YouTube channel. I'm like, what is going on? And they post like nothing's even going on. Hey, bless Gigi. Because we're normal, yeah. Hey, Nicole. It was well put together. Oh man, I really want to watch it now. I think I have Hulu. I just don't know which account. I don't know why I do that to myself. Like I'll put it under like a different account. Like I don't use just one email, which I should. Wow. Okay. So where was I going to start? I wanted to just read you a part of this. Okay, I think it was just down here. So it says, Ruby Franke's parents said their daughter was unrecognizable for 3 years, starting in the summer of 2020. Okay. What brief communications we had with her, she excused us of either things she accused us, of either things that never happened, or she grossly exaggerated the events that did. Chad Griffiths and Jennifer Griffiths wrote in a letter addressed to the judge and the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole in 2023. They continued, she was delusional. She was delusional. She was so deeply brainwashed, we could not recognize her. Franke, a Utah mom of 6 who amassed 2.5 million followers and was criticized for her controversial parenting advice on her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, was arrested and charged with 6 counts of felony child A in August 2023. Police said in a statement that the arrest came after her then 12-year-old son escaped from the home of the family's live-in therapist, Jodi Hildebrandt. Well, she lived with Jodi, and sought food and water from a neighbor. Hildebrandt, Franke's podcasting partner and therapist, who was arrested on the same charges. He ran because he was scared, not just because he wanted some water and food. He wanted to get help for his sister. People's kind of making that seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. But she did plead guilty. We know that. But they will not serve over 30 years, it says. Okay, so Franke and Hildebrandt each received 15 years. 4 to 15-year sentences to run consecutively, but they will not serve over 30 years due to Utah law. Though her husband and 2 eldest children, Sherry and Chad Franke, have spoken out about the former vlogger's case, most recently in the Hulu docuseries Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke, which premiered on February 27th. Her parents haven't been as vocal. Chad and Jennifer didn't attend their daughter's sentencing hearing and instead wrote a letter to the judge asking him to show as much mercy as possible. Like, you better get your damn asses down here. If that was my parents. Better be in the front row smiling. What? Just have some mercy on her. I mean, that's kind of... Well, we wrote a letter. I mean, I don't know. So where are Ruby Franke's parents now? Here's everything to know about Chad Griffin and Jennifer Griffin's lives 2 years after their daughter's arrest. Well, I'll tell you, they've been posting. So Ruby Franke's parents are Chad and Jennifer. Like their daughter, they are vloggers and launched their YouTube channel, Grandma and Grandpa Griffiths, in 2017. The couple are also missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In 2022, they left on a 2-year mission to Serbia. Chad and Jennifer have 5 children: Franke, Ellie, McCam, Julie Griffins, Daru, Bonnie, I don't know their names, and Bo, and at least 22 grandchildren. Franke's sisters are also influencers and posted a joint statement on Instagram in 2023 after their sister was arrested. For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Franke for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. I don't think you did enough. Y'all knew something was going on with her for 3 years. Parents say it, sisters say it, and you guys didn't have like a family meeting? Y'all don't love each other or something over there? Because if that was my family and I was acting out of wacko, that we would have a family meeting right now. Family meeting. It doesn't even matter if I don't talk to my brother for years. If he knows something's up, family meeting. Like, so it's just like for the last 3 years, she was just acting out of pocket and we just let her go. The statement continued, we wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further because it's, they need to pick up and go because, they need that money. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jodi was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is number one priority. During her sister's sentencing hearing in February, Bo said that he also joined Hildebrandt's personal development program Connections and claimed that it was by all definitions, a cult. Miss Hildebrandt was the sole source of what was right or wrong and discouraged people making their own life choices. He told the court per KSL. A reoccurring theme was the principle of separation and isolation, which the leader routinely prescribed. Oh. Says they have they've only spoken out publicly about their daughter's the abuse case during the sentencing. Oh, they were in Serbia, so that's why they couldn't go, I guess. In it, Chad and Jennifer told the judge that they noticed a change in Franke in the summer of 2020 and that their communication with her over the last 3 years had been brief. The couple also claimed that Franke was delusional and deeply brainwashed. So, like, why didn't they do something about this? I mean, even if your even if your children are adults, you meddle. Your parents. That's what you do. So where are her parents now? Let's see. Chad and Jennifer have not posted a video on their YouTube channel since August 2023. About a year ago. Yeah, so maybe through Chad's last post on his Instagram feed was also around that time. Jennifer shared her first post for almost a year, Silence, in July 2024. On July 25th, she shared a montage of photos of her family attending a rodeo and captioned it, "It's been a while, I'm glad to be back." Her most recent post was in November 2024, in which she celebrated her and Chad's 44th wedding anniversary, returned to the place where we were married and sealed together for time and all eternity 44 years ago today. She captioned a series of photos of them standing in front of the temple in Utah. "We are in it for the long haul." So they didn't even address Ruby at all. I mean, cool. I don't know. If that was my parents, I would just be like, what? Can you say something? I mean, if your parents ain't going to say something good about you, you ain't going to get nobody to say anything good about you. Right? They were probably like, yeah, Squeaky, they're probably like, we did a shit job with that one. We need to just throw her to the curb. We messed up on that one. I can tell you that whatever, what does it say here? I can tell you that whatever struggles, disappointments, and heartaches we've experienced have only made us closer as a couple, more appreciative of the comments we've made. Okay. Where's Jodi and Ruby lovers and stuff? Sorry. It's the first comment on here. We're all dying to know. Okay. So this is the interview. I got my drink in the way. Man, this drink's huge. But this is the interview that Kevin and Chad do with People Magazine. So we'll listen to this. It's like 20 minutes long. It just came out, I think, the other day, February 25th. So it's been a little while. But they go over the docuseries, and they point out like just some things that, we didn't know prior. And thanks for being here. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button for me. I appreciate you guys all being here tonight. If you guys are just now joining in, we are talking about Ruby Franke, her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband, Kevin, and his son, their son, Chad, have come forward, and they're doing a docuseries along with their her oldest daughter, Sherry, and they are talking about their experience with Ruby and just how she was a mother, as a content creator, and yeah, that's what we're going over.
This tragedy isn't something that you can just put easy and clean labels on. It's a very complex story.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door. He's got duct taped around each ankle. He's obviously covered in wounds.
Ms. Franke, how do you plead to count 1, child abuse?
Guilty.
To count 3, child abuse?
With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children. Guilty.
A lot of the physical violence that was described was hidden and kept from me. I didn't even know that those things happened. And I think Ruby was really careful to hide a lot of that from me. As far as the things like sleeping on a beanbag, removing Chad from sports teams and things, all of those directives came from Jodi, the licensed mental health counselor. I definitely voiced my opposition and concern, and it was always flipped back onto me of saying, well, You know, this is why your children are disobedient. This is why you're having problems with your children, because you just enable them all the time. You're the problem, Kevin.
When you work with a licensed therapist who is giving you advice, and you've trusted her for 5 years, and at first it was great advice, and I felt like she did a really good job with me. But when you build a relationship for 5 years, and when it gets to the point where your mom also trusts her more than she trusts her husband. For my dad, I understand that, in order to get his family back and to not run into problems with my mom and our therapist, he had to obey her rules and follow each step.
I think it's relatively easy for somebody out there who's, armchairing this and looking at this experience going, well, why didn't he just do that? I would have done that. If, it was day number 1 and Jodi came to me and said, yeah, you're selfish. You need to go into separation and repent. I would have told her to take a hike.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you're crazy. And I did say that in the first time I was introduced to Jodi's program. But you have to remember, and these individuals have to remember, that this was now, I was 2.5 years in this program now, and Jodi doesn't start from day 1 saying stuff like that. She gets her hooks into you. And
should I get one of those microphones like she has? She looks so professional,
and slowly begins to indoctrinate you and condition you to believe things about yourself, and to willingly give power to other people, because you come to believe that you yourself aren't capable of making good decisions. When that was suggested to me after all of that indoctrinating and conditioning, at the time, it seemed like, oh, you're right. Okay. But, again, I understand for somebody who wasn't in it, that it would seem strange. There was that coercion and flipping it back onto me, the gaslighting, that I was like, okay, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe this is the right way to parent. But I know that there's a lot of sentiment out there, and I think I want to address this very directly and very clearly. One of the things that I've been so upset about with the popular media's narrative of this experience is how they've collapsed the timeline, and they've taken the events of 2023, which were criminal, which were atrocious and horrific, and they've just smashed them all the way back into previous years, and extrapolated and assumed that.
Well, Kevin, those people are talking about the times. They're not talking about the physical as much as they're talking about the mental abuse that was going on in that house. Like your kids sleeping on a beanbag chair for 7 months, right? Your other kids, you were there when those 2 babies didn't get Christmas that year because they got the gift of trust and love. Your daughter went to school hungry, was left to school hungry. I'm sorry, because she forgot her lunch because she was like 5 or 6 years old. I would have forgot my lunch too. Shit. Mom didn't have that super glued in my hand or hooked onto my backpack. I was going to be hungry too. But you know what my mom would have done? She would have came and got me. She would have came and got me something. That's the difference. But Ruby said, nope, don't give her nothing. He was there for all that. Like, I don't get it.
Those types of criminal activities were occurring years before Jodi entered our family. And that's just simply not true. The criminal physical stuff happened after Jodi came into the picture, and the severe and the strict consequences and outcomes came after Jodi came into the picture. Ruby herself, though, was.
Wait. Did she have them locked in a safe? How did I miss that? I knew she had a safe room, but is that what they meant by the safe room? I was picturing something different. I was picturing more like what's his name? Rex Heuermann type of deal. Like, okay, hold on.
That's just simply not true. The criminal physical stuff happened after Jodi came into the.
Like, yeah. So you just put this on like a regular old door, Jodi? Like, did you go to the local Dick's Sporting Goods and say, can I get a Liberty safe that fits about the size of a door frame? Wow.
Picture, but and the severe.
Look at that. Why do people never have no sheets on the bed? Come on, y'all know better than that.
And the strict consequences and outcomes came after Jodi came into the picture.
Prescriptions, motives, and something. What does that say? Perceptions, motives. Trying to read that book. I'm just trying to see what's in here. What is this a bra? Why do we have a woman's bra in the drawer where the kids are locked up? The white thing right there. Wow. That's
Ruby
crazy.
herself, though, was
I can't remember what room that little girl was in. I think it was an empty room, I want to say, because it didn't have a bed in it, I don't believe.
throughout our marriage.
Like when they went to get Eve?
She took a very strict stance when it came to parenting.
Yeah.
And I think she learned a lot of that from her own parents and her own family. The rules, the boundaries of the separation were completely defined by my former wife, Ruby, and by Jodi. What made it difficult was, they could cross the boundary anytime they wanted to. And that was okay. That was, quote unquote, in truth. But if I were to seek, even attempt to cross that boundary, that was an evidence that I was being selfish, that I was unsafe, and that likely my marriage would have ended. Well, Ruby had a few communications
Well, it
with
ended.
me. I don't recall anymore the exact number of times, but it was always around logistics. Some neighbors and things, and early on in the separation would reach out when they started to realize, like, whoa, like what are you doing? As I'm sure Chad can share his perspective as well. We were both really indoctrinated that we needed complete isolation in order to heal. And that if we were interacting with anybody that was contrary to the messaging that Jodi, the other men in connections, and Ruby wanted us to accept and ingest, then we were being selfish.
I was also required to move out of the house and never contact my siblings, never go back home. So it's
Jodi told him when he was like 17 years old, time for you to move out and don't call us. We won't call you. What? Was Jodi just trying to get in with get the guys, like the older guys out of there? Like people that would actually have a backbone maybe and say something? I mean, Kevin didn't say anything. Chad, he left. They trusted her.
It's funny because a couple people did reach out. A neighbor saw me riding my bike to school and to work, and she felt so bad because she realized I was a minor. I was 17, out living on my own, and so she offered to buy me a car. And I really wanted to take that up, but Jodi, who's my therapist and I trusted and loved, at that point, she wanted me to live a very physical, straining and mental straining life while I was out there. That was her mindset when it came to repentance and changing, is put yourself through as much pain as possible. So that was a really hard year physically and emotionally, not being able to have any family for that long and no contact at all. And
that right there, what Chad just
Where was he?
expressed, is the common theme in these separations that Jodi recommends and that she would tell us to do as her treatment. She insisted that we subject ourselves to pain and discomfort, and in pain and discomfort would be what would change us, what would make us stronger. This documentary is an excellent project that will give people a much closer view of the real story. But even the documentary can only cover so much in 3 episodes. There's much more that I hope to share in the future, and help people understand about this experience. A lot of people will look at me and say, "How could he ever do that? I would never do that." But for those who respectfully ask me about that and say, how could you? My response to that is, well, who do you love more than anybody? And sometimes it's a child, sometimes it's a spouse, they say, and I say, well, what would happen if that individual that you love more than anybody started to go a different way and was inviting you and encouraging you? Would you just easily be able to let them go, easily be able to say, "You're out of my life, goodbye"? And that really gets people thinking. And so, I want people to really think about that. Another thing that I hope people think about after watching this is the role that social media and the internet plays in our lives today, and how it really fanned the flames of this story and spread it like wildfire, the truths and the falsities of it. The dangers that can come when you place yourself or your family or your children into the public spotlight on social media. There's a lot of incentives out there today to do that. But, I hope that people really stop and recognize, is this really what's best for my kids? Not just financially, but emotionally and psychologically. The things that you see that are concerning in the documentary, such as the sternness, the yelling at the kids to get them to comply, and the filming and those kinds of things. I think a lot of people that aren't familiar with family content creation would look at that and go, "That's horrible. That's abusive." And it is abusive. But what I want people to understand is that was not unique to our family. I don't know a single family content creator that did not have interactions like that with their children.
Yeah. And I can testify the same. I mean, we would go on, big YouTube trips, and, there would be so many family vloggers there with so many kids and cameras out, and, the stuff that my mom did behind the scenes, like, yelling or get back in place or say that again, or, the sternness, that wasn't just my mom as well. I mean, a lot of, vloggers and parents who are putting their kids on camera, they act the exact same. They want their kids to repeat something. They want their kids to act a certain way. They want them in a certain spot. And, since they're their kids, they can be a little more stern and raise their voice. So those behind the scenes that everyone is seeing, that it kind of scares them. It's not uncommon.
Fake being happy. Okay? I don't know if I can right now.
One of the reasons we were willing to give the raw footage to the production team for this documentary was to get this point across. And one of the biggest fears, if not the biggest fear of any family content creator on social media today, is having their raw footage somehow leaked, and so that people can see what really goes on behind the camera.
You can have my raw footage. It's actually it'd be entertaining.
These individuals are wanting everyone to believe that their content is uplifting and wholesome and pure, and sure, the final product appears that way, but the making of the sausage, it's ugly.
I definitely hate the things she did, and I feel like I'm also a very lighthearted person in a sense where I would never wish someone to have a bad life, or what I really hope is that from here she becomes a better person, and that she works on that, and she truly tries to change. I have no contact with her right now, and I don't plan to anytime soon. But then again, she's still blood, she's still my mom. And maybe down the road, eventually I'll have like a conversation with her, and maybe eventually have a relationship where we can just talk.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it comes to her actually being a mom and then eventually a grandma, I don't think I'll ever have that kind of close relationship again. It's hard, of course, but I mean, when I go home, you know, I feel like, you know, no one's missing. I don't really feel like I wish mom was here. I don't really have those feelings really at all. It doesn't feel wrong not having her in my home, and that's okay. So I feel like I'm in a good spot, even though she's not here.
The last letter that I received from her from prison was maybe in March or April of last year, and then I requested the Department of Corrections to ask her to stop writing me. I didn't want to hear anymore. I didn't like what she was saying, and I'm not going to share that. You know, that's between her and me. But it just didn't feel right, and it didn't feel good. And I'm very angry. I'm still very angry, and I need space and I need time. So I don't know, but I can't imagine being in prison is enjoyable or easy. So I really can't comment beyond that. Point is that she's where she's at, and she's going to be there for a long time. And you know, I genuinely hope that she gets the help that she needs. And isn't just, you know, abandoned in some hole, because I really believe that she was damaged severely by swallowing the teachings that Jodi just was serving up for her. Do I still feel hurt and pain and grief?
She's a grown woman. She's a grown woman, you know. I think she felt a lot of things for Jodi, but I don't think that was one of them.
And sadness and sorrow when I think about what we had and what was lost. Yeah. Do I miss those happy moments and, you know, years and years of good memories? I do. And I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, after being married over 20 years to that woman, I truly did and still do love her. But that doesn't excuse.
That's the second time he said that. Like, maybe you could leave that out, you know? Like, don't be telling her you love her. I wouldn't be doing that.
What she did. And it doesn't excuse how she hurt our children and how she hurt me. And
did you see your child's legs?
How she hurt our children and how she hurt me.
Like, look at that. Look at this. These were his little arms. And he's just like, I still love her. But I still love her.
And there's some things that there's some bridges that you just can't cross and then cross back. She burned the bridges. As of today, I'm still working through the divorce. We're trying to reach a settlement. It's been a long process, well over a year, but it's ongoing. I'm still technically married. And so I'm holding off until the divorce is finalized. But you know, I'm grateful for some friendships that I have, and I've gotten a lot of support from some friendships that I have. And when the time's right, that's something I think that I'll look forward to pursuing. As a family, we're progressing and healing.
I moved in with him like a month or two right after the arrest, and you know, that was suggested by a couple close friends because we were separate for so long. So they thought it would be good if we reconnected by just living together again. And eventually it felt like we were roommates. So I moved out because I turned 19 and 20 and I wanted my own space. So, but yeah, it's great. We have a ton of pets now, and every Sunday we put them all together, and it's like we have a zoo.
We started our own family tradition of family dinner on Sundays, and
Sherry comes over, and Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely didn't think my life would be like this, especially after hearing the news about everything that happened. I didn't expect that to happen at all. But from here, you know, where I'm at now, I feel like I expect good things out of the future. And, you know, if anything else were to happen, and what I mean is just like adversity and different challenging parts of life, you know, I feel like I am more prepared for those to come now that I've been through something difficult.
Life right now for me is getting back into I would say a comfortable normal. There's still a lot of pain. There's still a lot of healing that I work on each day, but it just looks and feels different now. I'm moving on, and I'm going to do what's best for my children, for my family, and for myself. And that's not going to include her.
Okay, so I was trying to look for like to see where the kids are now. Like I know the oldest ones, you know, Chad and Sherry, they are out of the home, so because they're older, but I don't know about the other four. I'm trying to see. It says here was what we know about their lives since Ruby's arrest. Okay. Because I think that the children might be in the system right now, but I'm not sure. Let's see what it says. The Franks began seeing Hildebrandt. Okay. Any of that. Ruby's children are light years better. Ruby and Frankie have 6 children: Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve. Born between March 2003 and September 2013. 4 of the Franke children were placed into Child Protective Services after Ruby's arrest. In March 2024, the case lead prosecutor, Eric Clark, gave an update on the condition of the 2 youngest children subjected to the abuse at the Hildebrandt's home. I think people should know the kids have put on weight. They're interacting happy and healthy. It's not like they're great, but they're light years better. And thank heavens for that. As of September 2024, the status of the Frankies' 4 underage children is the subject of an ongoing juvenile court case in Provo, Utah. Although the proceedings are closed to the public, it's been reported that Kevin is pursuing custody. In February 2024, Page 6 reported the father filed for guardianship of his then 16-year-old daughter, Abby. Kevin is making an effort to rebuild and bridge these relationships rather than sling mud and point fingers, his attorney, Randy Keister, told Today in September 2023. Then, you know, Sherry wrote a book about her mom. So it looks... Wow, yeah, it looks like they're still in protective custody as far as we know. So, I mean, yeah, Kevin don't get a pass in my book. I mean, you get a pass for the duct tape and the Kanye pepper maybe and the honey, but you don't get a pass for the years of emotional and mental abuse that you put on your kids. I mean, you had your kids sleeping on a beanbag chair. I couldn't imagine my parents making me do that. Like taking the door off the hinges. No, get no privacy. Sleep by the toilet. What? Sleeping by the toilet? Kevin must have been real brainwashed, man. Like really brainwashed. Man. I was going to see if there was anything else that I need to show you. Okay, let me go over here to Twitter and see if there's anything on here. Last night we went over there and there was like there was 3 kids missing and they were found within like the time that we were on our live. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I don't see anything. I guess there's I think there might be someone else that's missing, but I don't see it. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Wow, like it's really bad over there at South Carolina. Hopefully everybody is able to get out of their homes and get their pets and get to safety. I mean, that's the most important thing, you know? Squeaky, yeah. Yeah, he didn't stop it. No, he didn't stop any of it. And I mean, was the money that good? Where you were just letting her do whatever? Maybe he was the type of husband he'd let his wife walk all over him, you know? I don't know. Maybe he had to have. He doesn't get a pass for me. But I will put, so there is a podcast. I was listening to it earlier. It was actually pretty good. I was like, we didn't listen to this, but it's called The Rise and Fall of Ruby Franke. And I don't think we did. I'll double check on our playlist. Because I was listening to it today and I didn't remember hearing some of the stuff on there, but it is like 5 episodes or something. So maybe we'll go over that. And it's on Wonderly if you want to, or Wondery, something like that. But it's through Law and Crime. So we could always continue the coverage and like kind of go like, you know, watch that. All around, I've got so much Idaho 4 coverage. It's ungodly. We did every podcast, every interview, everything that we could get. We were on it. So, and we're still on that case still covering it a lot. So Squeaky, I guess there's a bunch of fires going on down there, like wildfires, 2,400 acres, they said, state of emergency. Thanks, Karina. And I used to be pretty sassy back in my, if you go back to my like first Idaho videos, I need to go back and I need to review those. I don't delete anything. And I'll tell you, when you're doing a case, like when you're working and you're like, I'm not working the case, but you know what I mean? Like when I'm like getting into the case and like, you know, covering it and everything. If this was back, you know, a couple years ago, if somebody would come in and they would be like, oh, that's wrong, like blah, blah. But I knew I was right. I would shut down the whole live. I'd be yelling at the person in the chat. Like I had to take a vacation and calm my butt down. That's what I had to do. And that's what I did. And then when I came back from vacation, literally everybody was so cool. I think everyone was just like, leave Tanya alone. She lost it. She lost her shit. Hey, Steven, your brother lives there? Oh no. No, yeah, it's bad there. Like I was on the old X, and this is just like one little spot, but let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if it's like look at this. Let me turn the volume down, but like what is going on? And those people were in their car. It looked like they were probably trying to flee their home. Oh my good golly. This is just so sad. What's going on with like the weather and Mother Nature? Who made her so mad? Because I've got good weather here. I mean, not good. It's cold. But it's not, I'm not underwater. I don't have flames coming up out of my home. I've had fire before. It's terrible. Terrible. Fires are terrible. My mom's apartment caught fire, and it was because of the neighbor above her. She lived, it was weird. The apartment, it was like 3 apartments, and she lived in like the middle one in the bottom, and he lived like above her. And at 6 a.m, he decided he was going to cook a little something that we don't cook at 6 a.m. meth. We knew there was something off about this guy. My mom had only lived there for like a month, and we knew something was off about this guy. He was up there cooking the stuff at 6 a.m. I wasn't home. My mom says she saw like smoke coming like out of the outlet, and she was like, "Uh-oh, like something is going on." So she grabbed the cat and the dog. Like she knew, being a mom, she knew to grab the cat, which I still have that cat. That's Rocky. He's around here somewhere. And she grabbed the dog, but we ended up losing everything. We lost it all. My heart goes out to people that lose it all. Like I remember pulling up that day to my mom's, and I was like, am I in the wrong spot? Like, cause it was just gone. It was like there and then it was gone. Like, and it was like shock. I was like, and then I was really upset because I was like, I just wanted to brush my teeth. Like I went out like with friends the night before, I was in my 20s. We had been drinking and like, hanging out. And I just wanted to go home and brush my teeth, take a shower, do the things you do when you go home. And like, there's just no home. Like, it was a big shock, but nothing like this. Wow. These people are we need, can we do like, instead of a state of emergency, like a country of emergency? That's what Kevin Franke's like, feels like right now. Yeah. Right? It looks like a meme. It looks like it should be a meme. Look at all that. Karina, you sound like me with my dogs. I'm like, Vincent. I'm like, we need a ladder for the deck. And he's like, we have a huge ladder. He spent like a pretty penny. It's like this huge ladder. I should do a review on it because it's like that cool. But it could literally get us off a third story, like the third floor of a building, probably like third story of a building. It's so big. But I was like, okay, we have that. Now we need like harnesses for the dogs, because I'm like, you never know. What if like I need to harness a dog to my back? I'll throw the cat overboard. Like Rocky will land on his feet. He fine. But because he's been over the balcony before, but the dogs haven't. Yeah, no, my cat's my baby. My cat he's my everything. He's 17. He is an asshole, and I love him. I love him so much. He really is. He ain't got no chill. He was in here earlier. I think he left though. I put him a bed behind this chair, and he never used to lay in this little cat bed, and now he loves it. I'm like, So we're gonna get the dogs new dog beds because theirs were just getting old, and they keep wanting to come in here, and I feel bad that they can't come in at the while I'm doing my live. So I'm like, oh, so that's why I keep looking. If you see me ever look over my shoulder, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for my dogs because I'm just so used to them being right behind me. Like I have a Weimaraner. If you know them, they are bred to be up your butt. I don't know. They have to be touching you. They have to be so close to you, even if you're walking. Like she can literally like be walking and have like, if I stop, her nose is going up my butt. Like it's just how it is. But I love them, guys. And I'm going to take pictures of the whole studio tomorrow. That way you guys can see everything. You can see my pretty flower. One of them is blooming. And then Vincent got me those for our anniversary. When was that? 2 days ago? Yeah. Those flowers are really pretty. And then I was going to I'll take some pictures of all the other stuff because I got all that like dry stuff I was going to put in that white big pot. I put it in these little planters, and it looks a lot better. So I'll have to show you guys what it looks like. Oh yeah, Tish. I tell people if they can handle a big dog, if you can handle a large dog, and you want a dog, like, you want to, and you don't have like a partner, you don't have a kid to take care of, you just are older, but you can handle a big dog, Weimaraner, 100%. They're extremely intelligent. Extremely intelligent. Their eyes are circular, so they have more of like facial, like you can tell they're different faces, like compared to other dogs. And they're always up your butt. They're always with you. Like when that music comes on, she knows she'll be at that door. She knows. So I know I have to bring Nancy back. I have to put her somewhere. Especially whenever we do Nancy's. I have her in the closet. I could put her there, but then you won't be able to see her. Your Yorkies are the same. Public outrage forced you to take it down. No, Squeaky, I really do need to put her back up. I just was taking her down for a while, like, because well, first she was scaring the dog, and then I don't know. I wanted it to be more like a studio. I don't know, and then I just haven't put her back up yet. But I do have my Nancy. If I make it to CrimeCon, I'm going to take her with me. Like, I'm just going to walk around with that Nancy cardboard cutout. I mean, if Nancy saw me at CrimeCon with a cardboard cutout of her, like 6 feet of her, I don't think she would be able to like walk past me and not say hello, right? So you can't do anything without your Yorkies. That's me too. Well, Araya, my boxer pit mix, she lets me kind of do things. She needs me more than Mia. It's just it's a weird relationship with them, but definitely my Weimaraner. She definitely likes to be right around me all the time. Hey, Nash Native. I have a Chiweenie. Oh, probably from the pound. Rondaroo. The pound puppies are the best ones. They are. I've had a pet from Petland. Don't you judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. It was the cutest stinking little English bulldog I had ever seen in my whole life. You know, they got me. But I've had one from there. I've had dogs from the pound, and I've had dogs from the Amish. That's where my Weimaraner is from. She was bred, the Amish bred her, and they go all out for their dogs. But rescuing an animal is there's just something different about it. The way they look at you, the way they need you, the way they I don't know. Just don't tell Mia, but there's just Mia knows. My dog knows. There's just something about Araya that she gets just a little extra because she's a little older. She lived on the streets for 3 years of her life, you know. So we have to I always give her a little extra loving. So, and I'll give her a little extra food if she, you know. The Amish, yeah. Yeah, Tish, the Amish. Then we have a big Amish country in Ohio. I think it's up north. I can't remember where we went to go get the dog, but yeah. And the Amish, they're the best. They had a log cabin built for these dogs. It was beautiful. I would have moved in there. I was like, Vincent, this is bigger than our apartment. Because we were living here. We were living here at the time. And this is 1,200 square feet. And I was like, this is bigger than our apartment. It was huge. It had heat and everything. It was so pretty. They brought the mom and the dad over for us to meet her parents first, which I thought was really cool. Cause you know, that's just, I don't know. That's really cool. And then they brought in her and her brother. And we almost went with both of them. We almost took them both because they were so cute. But I had already gotten Araya a couple months before. We got 2 dogs in 3 months. We didn't think that through, but we're so happy now. Now that they're, you know, older and the cat bit them all, you know, they don't mess with the cat. Cat don't mess with them. They're all good. But I do want to get a kitten. I do want a kitten. But I don't know. I'm just nervous to get one because I'm scared I'm going to fall over. I'll trip over it or, you know, I don't know, maybe the dogs won't like it. So I'm gonna have to really think about that. But the dogs love the cat. My dog lays with Rocky. They both do. They know not to mess with him. So really? Oh, I'm sorry, Crafty. They're really good to the ones here. I couldn't believe it. When I went to go shake her hand, I was like, do I kiss her hand? Because she went like this, and had it all pretty, princey. And I was like, do I kiss it, Vincent? Because it was my first time meeting. I've met not Amish, Mennonites and stuff before, but I've never met Amish people. So I didn't know their culture or anything. I didn't want to offend them, but she was so sweet. The lady was so nice. And yeah. I was like, I would go live with y'all. I'd go live in that doghouse. Shoot. I think that would have been cute to take if her parents were still alive to take Mia back to see her parents. But then I might feel bad taking her away from them again, you know. They're, you know. You want Doberman pinchers? That's funny. Those little dogs. Aren't those little ones? The little Dobermans? Labs are so good with kids, yes. I want a Mini golden doodle, real bad. They have wood stoves. Yes, that's what it is, Phantom. I want one so bad, but I'm good with the dogs I have now. I don't need any more dogs. I got 2, and there are plenty. There are plenty. I don't know what I would do without them, and I don't know what they would do without me. So. Oh, wow. I should be a rescue group that works undercover. Oh man, I'd be like, everybody's abusing everybody. I mean, I have a big heart. I would take all the dogs. Oh wow, Rhonda. I bet that's nice. Oh, golden doodle. Yes, I love golden doodles. I love golden retrievers too. They're good dogs. Must be their name. Bearded dragons. No, I'm cool with that, Phantom. I don't need no bearded dragon in my house. That would be kind of cool though if I had one like back here, like if I had a little wall built or something for him. I thought about like building a wall for Rocky, but I don't think he would have sat up there. So, because we had extra wood, and I was like, should we build him a wall to like walk on? But nah, he wouldn't do it. So, you should get another German Shepherd, Ladybug. My aunt had 2. She had one. It passed. It was older. It passed, and then they got a baby puppy. It changed my uncle's life. Like he went from sad, like real sad because he lost his dog, and then he had this puppy to take care of. I don't know. It just like rejuvenated him. Really, really helped him out. So I think her name's Greta. Yeah, Greta. Not a rat either. I saw a lady that she was like trying to rescue a spider, like to keep it. And I was like, But the worst bug is the stink bug. I will say that. But thanks for talking to me for a little bit at the end of the live. I appreciate it. I don't know what we'll cover tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe something will come along. Maybe we'll cover something we've covered before. I don't know. Maybe I'll put something on the community post. But I'll be back tomorrow. It is Monday. I want to do something on the second channel. Maybe we'll just do a little gossip session over there or something. We'll just chit chat. No, I haven't seen Fruit Bats. Bless Chi-Chi. I know. I need to get back on my diet tomorrow. I was so sick last week. I was just, man. And National Native, I bought the hair. Like we had a border collie growing up, and she shed everywhere, but she was so pretty and so smart. Such a smart dog. With photos of those? Oh, with photos. I thought you meant with the actual like fruit bat. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, we know where to put our order in for some, good food. Because, and I ain't cooking it over here. I try. But thank you guys for being here with me tonight. We'll probably talk maybe like Idaho tomorrow or Ruby or whatever's going on. I'm sure there's going to be something going on with something. So I will see you guys all back here tomorrow evening. I'll do a community post, and then I'll let you guys decide which case we cover tomorrow. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know